Here we are, another move to the upside, exactly as predicted, coming off the 4-hour Ichimoku cloud. Take a look at this. I actually thought Bitcoin would be falling significantly lower, down to about 25k, but we literally just fell down to the green Kumo. That is this line right here. If you've been watching me for a while, if you watched my video on the beloved Ichimoku video on the Ichimoku cloud by typing this into the YouTube search bar, you're going to know that the top line and the bottom line are always going to be the most important support levels of the Ichimoku cloud, or resistance if it's a resistance cloud, and so that has actually ended up coming in clutch and saving us. Again, by far my most favorite indicator in the entire space. I almost never talk about indicators, but when I do, Ichimoku is always one of the main words that comes out of my mouth. I wish I could have been the one that created it and the one that could sell it, because I would sell this indicator for no less than $10,000, but here it is free, so please fucking use it, because it is very, very cool. Actually, don't use it, because it's going to stay more useful for me. But on the subject of analysis, I'm very, very happy seeing how we've used this cloud. I mean, it's beautiful to see. I mean, it's just so consistently reliable when we're in a moving trend. You know, moving on from that, we are now right back at the top of our range. We've ended up topping out today at a high of $28,650, which is basically the range high that we've managed to set right here. And if we're looking at pulling a little bit of consolidation here and then maybe moving up, the main thing that I'm going to be looking for then is going to be seeing if we end up bouncing off that $28,600 level where we actually just got rejected. Now, previously when we got rejected off this level, you know, it did result in some fairly significant pullbacks, 7%, 8% here, you know, another 8% here. So if we end up getting a rejection, I'd be looking at kind of falling back down to this range. I am now confident enough to say that this is our new range that we are in, from 26.7 up to 28.7, a nice $2,000 range. Nothing crazy, nothing too big, nothing too small, but I do still think that if we end up falling back down, we are going to be reclaiming this level and testing it as support. Previously, this area offered a lot of resistance to Bitcoin, and so I will be expecting that to flip into support if we end up coming back down. And also just kind of, you know, grabbing the liquidity down here, you know, would make a lot of sense, right? I mean, the market really quite clearly stopped at this green line every time it was dumping, which means that we are going to be having some liquidity in this range of just people, you know, setting their stop losses if they're long right now in that area, stuff like that. We already know that the market loves to, you know, wreck you and stop your positions out and, you know, trigger whatever, you know, liquidations and so on and so forth. Long-short ratio is almost completely evened out. We do not have an edge anymore for bulls. Fear and greed index is looking a little bit better though. You know, this is down a little bit, nothing crazy. It is going to update in a few hours, but at least we're below 60 now. I don't know, I don't want to read into it too much. We don't have the best setup as far as bulls go, just for kind of breaking out, but I do think that if we are able to somehow push above, the key thing that we're going to be looking for is coming back down for that retest to show us that, you know, we're giving the bears a chance. Because basically what happens when the market pulls this kind of move is that, you know, the price is moving up, and then we're saying to the bears, okay, come play. You know, let's see if you've got the strength to play in this arena, you know, and then if the bears don't have the strength, they just kind of get knocked out of the Coliseum. We end up getting that bounce upwards. But if the bears do have the strength, they're like, all right, it's our time, you know, let's fucking drop this shit basically and turn this into a deviation, and we end up falling significantly lower. And both are very likely at this point in time, in my opinion. Deviations, because this has been Bitcoin's love language over the last couple of years, really, you know, especially over the last 1 year. I mean, Bitcoin has just only been doing deviations, to be honest, a little bit more than a year perhaps, you know. But on the other side, I think that the trend looks really strong. So I'm actually leaning more towards, you know, if we come back down, we get a bullish retest and fly. But if you're bearish, you're going to be expecting the deviation most likely. And that's still, like I said, I mean, they're both very good, you know, ideas, I think, in this market in terms of what we could produce. You know me, I've been more bullish than bearish since we were down at $17,000. Obviously, simple guy like me, I like to be bullish when the price is low, and I like to be bearish when the price is high, you know. So when the market was up at $57,000 around over here, I sold off a lot of my Bitcoin to buy a whole house in Dubai, and when Bitcoin was down here, I was repeatedly telling you guys that I'm expecting a $30,000, $40,000 Bitcoin, you know. So you know, this is important to highlight because obviously some of you guys may have not been here, you know, at that time, but I want you to know that I've always been taking this approach of, look, when the number is too high, I want to be a little bit bearish. When the number is too low, I want to be a little bit bullish. Admittedly, we're very high right now, especially off our lows. We've nearly doubled them now. We're up by about 80%, so we're definitely quite high. However, we have now, you know, basically made moves up and then consolidated. And I'm sorry guys, and so we consolidated, we pulled back here, we consolidated here, up here we've consolidated as well. I swear I thought I heard ghosts just then, that's why I was looking around. I was really fucking creeped out for a second. It's fine, it was just a video playing. But yeah, a little bit of consolidation here. Again, you know, when we're in a bullish trend at the same, yes, I understand, look, I want to be bearish when the number is high. I don't think we're that high yet. You know, the key reason for that is, you know, we've had this range kind of between 25k and 28. We've filled it. It's a $3,000 range. It's nothing big, but you can reasonably say, in my opinion, that this range does stretch all the way up to, you know, the low 30s, and we haven't gone that high yet. So I still think that we've got a little bit more upside to go just with this rally in and of itself. I think that the rally has adequately cooled down at this stage. I mean, you know, it could cool down some more. That's totally fine, but I think we've done well, you know, from the point that we kind of reached this range to today. We have been here now for nearly 2 weeks, so we're definitely not, you know, just here for a very short period of time. And if we take a look at some of the other key indicators, you know, that I'm interested in as far as support goes for Bitcoin, you know, we're still looking at a good situation here as well. Let's take a look at the EMA ribbon, 4 hour. We're now getting that spread back, so if we end up falling into it, that could turn into, sorry guys, that could turn into something which could be quite useful for Bitcoin. If we take a look at this on the daily time frame, we haven't even fallen down to it yet, but it is moving up every single day. So after a couple of days, we'll have support right here at this range as well, which also really makes for a nice argument to get that deviation down here just below these swing lows, and then we come back up and maybe break out. So again, deviations can happen like this, and then we have our deviation up here, and deviations can happen like this, where we have our deviation down here and then we move up. Deviations can be bullish, deviations can be bearish, but bottom line, I think expecting deviations is a smart thing to do at this stage in the market, because Bitcoin loves to produce them. So I don't know if we're going to be taking these very, you know, clean, easy rides up, or you know, if for example, this was a huge deviation, right? If you remember this chart that I was showing you guys, let's take off the indicators. Bitcoin was finding phenomenal support off this line, but we just went and made a horrific deviation here. I mean, you know, from the breakout point to the low, it was a 12% drop. You can't reasonably say this is a fake out. I mean, this is a fucking huge move. 12%. That's a real breakout. You know, not only that, but it also lasted in total 5 days until we recovered back up. You know, and I want to point out that, you know, 3 of these days, I know it says 2, but actually 3 of these days that we were trading, you know, we were dropping. So it didn't look optimistic at all. You know, day 4 didn't look good either. Day 5 was where it started to look good, and obviously day 6 was when we got the breakout. But you know, I mean, this was a deviation too, and that's my point, is that Bitcoin loves to produce them. So you know, I guess one of the key things I wanted to do is we come onto this video and I tell you guys about, look, you know, you've got amazing opportunities to trade these markets with $30,000 free cash on Bybit, for example. That's amazing, but at the same time, I want you to keep in mind that nothing has actually changed. We're still range bound. We're still trading sideways in the same place that we were trading sideways in for the last, you know, 10 days. We haven't actually done anything. We've only tested resistance one more time and tested support one more time, continuing to prove that we're in a really fertile trading range where there's a lot of amazing opportunities to just, you know, take advantage of the market. And that's why these amazing offers from Bybit, OKX, Prime XBT are so appealing, you know, is purely because they, you know, they're giving this to you at such a critical time in the market, where the market's just throwing trading opportunities to you. Long at 26.7, short at 28.6, you know, breakout above. These are the obvious plays that, you know, textbook traders are going to be looking at right now. You know, me personally, I'm still in my long position. The numbers now look very similar to this. In fact, the price of Bitcoin is slightly higher than at the time I took this screenshot, so my profit numbers are probably going to be exactly the same. $180,000 in profit, pretty decent stuff so far. Very happy with the position, and I'm still keen on letting this position continue to ride. I'm still expecting Bitcoin, like I said, to reach higher, towards $29,000, $30,000. That is still where I'm leaning, as I've made it quite clear to you in this video. So I'm going to keep it this. I'm going to be keeping this long position running for a little bit. I've been very interested in alts. As you know, those opportunities have been shaping up nicely for us, and the Bitcoin dominance I am expecting to just take another little leg up to the very top of this range. Nothing crazy. I think these opportunities are very close to opening up. Alt BTC pairs haven't really moved very much, so a lot of people have been very aggressively trading these things, but achieving nothing. And that's something which I think you really don't want to find yourself in that position. One of the key things I want to highlight to you as somebody that genuinely, regularly, consistently trades these markets is that in my experience, you don't want to be constantly entering and exiting trades. In fact, my default is not being in any trade at all. And the reason that I like that is because anytime you're in a trade, you're opening risk. And if you're opening risk, that means you stand to lose money. So I'm in a trade right now. My situation is somewhat unique because my stop loss is in profit. I've already secured basically I've already taken my entire position off the table. I'm 100% in profit right now, more than doubled my money. Of course, I've basically tripled my money on what I put in. Yeah, I put in like $100,000. I'm up 180k in profit, so basically tripled it. So I'm quite happy with it. But before you reach those stages, you are opening risk up. And so if you've been trading aggressively these last few days, which makes sense, there have been good opportunities, but not really achieving anything, what you've been doing is constantly opening risk and not actually taking any money back home, which means it's almost like you're stepping into the boxing ring, but the only thing you're doing is getting hit. You're not hitting the other guy, or you might be, but it's not doing anything to the other guy, but you yourself are getting hit. Or, more accurately, that you're stepping into the boxing ring, but there's no payment if you win. You're just doing it for clout. You're just doing it for enjoyment because you're fucking bored. You're doing it because you want to entertain yourself. But you don't actually stand to gain anything. You're not going to gain any reputation. You're not going to gain any money. It's pointless. And that's how people have been trading recently. When you start to kind of reframe your mind, what you'll start seeing is that you'll trade less. All right, you'll trade less. That's what good trading looks like. It looks like trading less. You'll trade less, and you'll make more money. You'll lose money less often. When you lose money, you'll lose smaller amounts. When you make money, you'll make bigger amounts as well. And you'll find that if you've been regularly journaling your trades, if you've been keeping track of the data of your trades and so on, that you will make more money generally, when you dial things back a little bit. I'm speaking from experience with myself and from directly coaching many traders inside of our VIP group as well, because I've also got a yearly offer with you guys available where you can follow these steps on screen to get into 𝐷𝗫𝗫 VIP, literally just joining my Telegram channel, clicking on my name and then sending me a message. But yearly members, you get phone calls with me as well, which we can do around the clock, and that has been incredibly useful for those of you that have taken advantage of that offer. Most of you that join VIP are also going to be getting free access to the 𝐷𝗫𝗫𝐊 Academy courses, where I teach you everything I know about trading from A to Z. Very valuable information in there as well, indeed. And on top of that, you're getting all this free money to trade these markets. Up to 30k on Bybit. You're getting a further potentially up to 20k in rewards on OKX. Super easy to get these rewards. All you got to do is register to get up to 10k, deposit and trade to get up to 10k again. Super cool in rewards. And then Prime XBT, of course, offering you access to all these additional traditional finance markets with $7,000 up for grabs that you can trade with, just free money that they give you. So brilliant opportunities in this market right now. Bitcoin right back up to its range high. Still nothing has changed. I like the fact that we're staying here. The fact that we are here, to me, means that we might not need a bigger pullback. So I'm somewhat revising my idea that 25k needs to happen. If we fall back down here, I'm definitely expecting, if we do something like this, that we're actually going to do something a little bit like this and then come back up. This might end up going significantly lower. Maybe it even goes up, goes all the way down to 25. But my point is that we form some sort of deviation and then find ourselves back in this range and then probably continue on up. I think that we've got a good opportunity for it. The S&P 500 continues to rally exactly as predicted. one of the most obvious clear predictions I've made for you guys on this YouTube channel in the last months. I haven't shut up about it ever since the S&P 500 was down here in January of this year. So we're going back 3 months now that I've been constantly talking about the same thing. I've been telling you guys I'm expecting a breakout, and when we got the breakout, I was telling you I'm expecting resistance up here, and when we got resistance there, I was telling you I'm expecting a pullback and a bullish retest to bounce off of here. And that is all exactly what's been happening. S&P behaving very, very well. Dollar continuing to look like it's in a dangerous position. And gold coiling up for another big move. So I'm definitely expecting this to continue moving up. Everything right now is still pointing in the direction of these markets looking strong. You know, we've only been consolidating. We've only been doing things that are 100% healthy for the market. So I'm happy with what I'm seeing. I'm quite happy with what I'm seeing, and I'll continue to take my speculative bets on these markets, opening positions, not only on coins like Bitcoin, but also altcoins as those opportunities open up, and especially, of course, when they look safe to me. That's where I'm going to be pulling the trigger and informing VIPs fully on how that process evolves, from consideration to execution to managing the trade when it's open as well. Everything goes inside a VIP. I really hope you've enjoyed this. You know what to do if you have. Hit up the like, subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.